On the come up, better sit low. The product base, but it drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. What you know about juice? Making the moves that'll flow casual, breaking the news. Revenue proof, a building portfolios taking well over exceptional pain. I'm trapping this, so participation ain't a hard knock. I put in the work so you got knowledge. You ain't drawing with luck when you following us. The result is a pen full of fat pockets. Bada bang, that's an outer game with an auto flame. With a lot of hate, get above the lane, ain't about the trade. Have another trade, get another play. They playing God so pretentious. Drapes in these waters forbidden. Well indeed, that's a felony. Don't look at me, but it's TRB. Have you heard of TRB? I don't know. On the come up, better sit low. The product base, but it drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital.
Report as progress and as building confidence, but we don't see ourselves as having the confidence that would warrant beginning to loosen policy at this time.
And if I could quickly follow up, did you or any of your colleagues change your interest rate projections after 8:30 or whenever you got the inflation numbers today?
So this happens too often, but it does happen. It just is, data came. I think it happened a few meetings ago. So what happens when there's an important
What's going on?
Print during
What's
the
going on?
first day or second day, what we do we make sure people remember that they have the ability to
How we doing,
tell
chat?
them how to do that, and some people do, some people don't. Most people don't. But and I'm not going to get into the specifics, but you have the ability to do that. So that what's in the SEP actually does reflect the data that we got today, to the extent you can reflect it in one day. I think we'll see PPI tomorrow. We'll know more about the PCE reading as the month goes
PPI.
on. The initial CPI reading. And
I never got PP in my eye
first level
before.
Translation to PCE. We did have this morning. We were briefed about it, and people were able to consider whether they should make changes. And as I said, some people generally do, but most people generally don't.
Hi, Chair Powell, Janelle Marte from Bloomberg. As you noted,
Are you guys
the
in a
labor
trade right
market is
now?
now in many ways back to where it was before the pandemic. I wondered if you could comment on how officials are viewing that. So do you think that there still needs to be more cooling in the labor market to bring inflation all the way down to 2%?
Who's
Or
trading
is there
right
any
now?
sense
Come on.
that maybe the labor market is more vulnerable now to higher rates now that many of those imbalances have eased?
Sure. So by so many measures, the labor market was kind of overheated 2 years ago, and we've seen it gradually move back into much better balance between supply and demand.
I'm out of my
what have
trade.
We've seen labor force supply come up quite a bit through immigration and through recovering participation. That's ongoing mostly now through the immigration channel, but still we've had some increases in prime age labor force. In terms of on the demand side, we've seen quits moving down.
Are we long?
Job openings moving down. We've seen wage increases moving from very, very high levels a couple of years ago back down to more sustainable levels. We have seen unemployment creep up now 0.6 over the course of a year or so. Very, very
This could
gradually.
still play out.
So you put all that together, what you have is still low unemployment, still 4% unemployment, historically low. But it's moved up a little bit. It's softened a bit, and that's an important statistic. But more than that, you've got strong job creation. You have payroll jobs still coming in strong, even though there's an argument that they may be a bit overstated.
Might get in again.
They're strong. So that's what we see. We watch the labor market, of course, and the economy as a whole, but the labor market very carefully, and that's what we see. We see gradual cooling, gradual moving toward better balance. We're monitoring it carefully for signs of something more than that, but we really don't see that.
As a quick follow-up, the surveys that make up the jobs report are showing different tales. There's been some divergence, especially we saw in the last report that we got on Friday. So how do you interpret that, and how does it change your view on the labor market?
So sometimes you can't reconcile the differences. You just have to look at it and try to understand.
What's going on,
It
guys?
always makes sense to look at a series, in 3, 6, and 12 months of things rather than just one report. But you're right to point to the last report where there were job losses in the household survey, job gains, big job gains in the establishment survey. So, we're left with ambiguous results, and we have to deal with that uncertainty around data. Nonetheless, the overall picture is
SFP?
one of a strong and gradually cooling, gradually rebalancing labor market. Job openings, while they've come way down, are still, greater than the number of unemployed people. The jobs workers gap is still a significantly positive number, greater than it was before the pandemic. So overall, we're looking at what is still a very strong labor market, but not the superheated labor market of 2 years ago or even 1 year ago.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin with Axios. Back on the rates path, the SEP showed quite a large shift of rate cut expectations relative to March. That's a period in which the economic data flow hasn't been that dramatic a shift. How can you provide some color on what changed in attitudes on the committee?
Provide
over the
some
last few
color.
months to see a much shallower path of rate cuts this year?
Yeah, the big thing that changed was the inflation forecast. So the inflation forecast moved up several tenths before the end of the year. And as I mentioned earlier in the, what did we take away from this? We had really, really good inflation data in the second half of last year, then kind of a pause in progress in the first quarter. And what we took away from that was that it's probably going to take longer to get the confidence that we need to begin to loosen policy. So the sense of that is that rate cuts that might take place
He is boring, isn't he?
Take place next year. There are fewer rate cuts in the median this year, but there's one more next year. So if you look at year-end 2025 and 26, you're almost exactly where you would have been. Just it's moved later because of that progress. Now you get different data today. So we'll have to see where the data light the way. We're at the economy has repeatedly surprised forecasters in both directions, and today was certainly a better inflation report than almost anybody expected. And we'll just have to see what the incoming data flow brings and how that affects the outlook and the balance of risks.
Gina Smiley, New York Times. Thanks for taking our questions. In the summary of economic projections, the long-run interest rate forecast moved up a bit. I wonder if we should read that as a sign that you think that policy is not sort of as restrictive as we previously expected. How should we interpret what that means about how the committee views its current policy setting?
So two things about that. One is this. You're right, it did move up, but I want to remember to point out that long-run neutral rate of interest is a long-run concept. It really is a theoretical concept, can't be directly observed, and what it is the interest rate that would hold the economy at equilibrium, maximum employment, and price stability, potentially years in the future where there are no shocks. So it's a little bit, it's not something we observe today. Today we've got a very specific economy with all kinds of shocks we're still getting over from the pandemic. So it's I don't think that the concept of R-star, it's a very important concept in economics.
This guy just beats around the bush,
man.
man.
Need to be to think about what appropriate policy is in the near term. But I back to your original question, people have been gradually writing it up because I just think people are coming to the view.
I can see the
rates
swing
aren't-
failure pattern here.
Are less likely to go down to their pre-pandemic levels, which were very low by recent history measures. Now,
Little
we can't
rejection
really
from
know
here.
that.
Push
That's an
down.
interesting dispute and discussion to have now. But ultimately, we think that things like the neutral rate are driven by longer-run, slow-moving forces, and there's a really good question about whether those really have changed or whether instead rates and the economy are experiencing.
Jerome just needs to say, "I own Bitcoin."
persistent,
That's all.
But ultimately temporary shocks.
Yeah, I own the Bitcoin.
And we can't know. But in the meantime, we're making policy with the economy that we have, with the distortions that we have. And I also, to your other point, I think it is the case that as time has gone by, the question of how restrictive is policy has become one that everyone's asking, and we're asking it too. And my answer has been that policy is restrictive. The question of whether it's sufficiently restrictive is going to be one we know over time. But I think for the reasons I talked about at the last press conference and other places, I think the evidence is pretty clear that policy is restrictive and is having the effects that we would hope for.
Well, thanks, your pal Howard Schneider with Reuters. Just to carry that a little further, should we read this as a conclusion, the combination of tipping to one cut this year and acknowledging further progress on inflation as kind of a mark to market on the level of restrictiveness that you need, that you in fact have concluded that you weren't quite there yet?
I'd be reluctant to try to draw that conclusion. I think this is about looking at the incoming data and asking how much progress are we making on inflation, and how is the rest of the economy doing? Is the labor market still strong? That's what we're thinking about. You can translate it into the language you're talking about, but to me the focus is more on, we have a goal which is price stability, another goal which is maximum employment. How are we doing there? We think we've got a good, strong labor market still. We think we've been making progress toward the price stability goal. And then for a while there was a pause, and we look at today's thing and we think, well, that's a good reading, and we hope we get more like that. And in the meantime, we're asking, is our policy stance about right? And we think yes, it's about right. We're prepared to adjust it as appropriate, but we think we're getting the things that we would want to get, broadly speaking, and that's why we've been at this policy right now for almost a year.
So just to follow up on that, I think one curious thing here is you've got now this restrictive policy in place and virtually no change in any of the major things for all of this year. You've got growth that stays above long-run potential throughout the forecast period, unemployment that never goes above the long-run estimate, right, of 4.2. So this isn't a story of slack improving inflation. So where's the improvement in inflation coming from that it's going to pick up pace so much in 2025?
Well, it's been coming. Where's it been coming from? We'll start with that. Clearly, a lot of some of what we've been getting is just the reversal of
Get above VWAP. Come on, Bitcoin. Get above VWAP, man.
Both supply and demand.
You're losing
And that is,
VWAP right now.
That's complemented by
Get
and
above there.
supported by restrictive monetary policy. So those two things have been working together.
You need
We've
to
also
see
had a
that.
very positive
You need
supply
to see
shock
it.
on the labor side, and also you get a positive supply shock when the supply conditions
VWAP held once, twice.
You had above trend potential growth and high growth.
Come on,
and the
Bitcoin.
benefit of inflation.
Giddy up.
Really fast actually last year, and we'll see what the rest of this year brings. So these dynamics can continue as long as they continue.
That was a
Ultimately,
very
the
nasty
question
wick,
is
wasn't it?
ultimately,
Wasn't it?
are you down
Nasty.
to demand, and we don't know that though. I mean, we look at today's report. If we see more like that, we can't.
Alexandra
know what the
G.
future holds, but in the meantime, we've
What's
made
going
good
on?
Progress on
What's
inflation
going on? Good to see you.
with our current stance.
Michael McKee from
We got
Bloomberg
the
Radio
new
and television.
no
The
video.
base case of the committee seems to be that there is
You
going
see
to
the
be
new
at
no-no
least one
video?
rate
Pretty
cut
good,
this
eh?
year, but your growth forecast doesn't see any.
He's wearing those
slowdown
shades.
the rest of the year, nor does the unemployment forecast see any significant weakening of the labor
Hey,
market. And
styling, profiling.
basically average out to no change. So if at the end of the year there's no
Let's go.
change from conditions now, why would you anticipate cutting rates? What would be the point for a rate cut?
Well, we think policy is restrictive, and we think ultimately that if you just set policy at a restrictive level, eventually you will see real weakening in the economy. So that's always been the thought, is that since we raised rates this far, we've always been pointing to cuts at a certain point, not to eliminate the possibility of hikes, but no one has that as their base case. So,
I don't know. This seems like a good bounce level to me. I mean, we could come a little bit lower here,
that's how we think
68.4.
about it, and that's what we've been getting. That's what we've been getting is good progress on inflation, with growth at a good level and with a strong labor market. Now, ultimately, we think rates will have to come down to continue to support that. But so far, they haven't had to. And that's why we're watching so carefully for signs of weakness. We don't really see that. We kind of see what we wanted to see, which was gradual cooling in demand, gradual rebalancing in the labor market while we're continuing to make progress on inflation. So we're getting good results here.
Well, to follow up, is there any kind of concern for the housing industry or financial stability, banks, in leaving rates where they are for too long at this point?
On housing, the housing situation is a complicated one, and you can see that's a place where rates are really having.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
I mean, ultimately, the best thing we can do for the housing market is to bring inflation down so that we can bring rates down so that the housing market can continue to normalize. There will still be a national housing shortage, as there was before the pandemic. There will still be one. But the distortions that we see now with lock-ins and things like that, low mortgages. In terms of banks, the banking system has been, solid, strong, well-capitalized, lending. We've seen good performance by the banks. We had the turmoil early last year, but banks have been focusing on bringing up their liquidity, bringing up their capital, and having risk management plans in place. So the banking system, seems to be in good shape.
Thanks. Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. I was wondering if we can, on inflation, if you can tell us a little more about where you see inflationary pressure in the economy. You mentioned labor markets coming into better balance, and inflation expectations appear to be well anchored. You're seeing, anecdotal stories of the large chains like Walmart and Target are announcing price cuts. McDonald's announcing a $5 meal deal. So, people may still be unhappy about prices at the grocery store, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of inflationary pressure left in this economy. I wonder if you could tell us more about it.
I think it's true that inflationary pressures have come down, but we're still getting high inflation readings. So, and I think you can see it in various places. In some parts of non-housing services, you see elevated inflation still, and that's probably it could be to do with wages. Goods prices have kind of fluctuated. There's been a surprising increase in import prices on goods, which is kind of hard to understand, and we've taken some signal from that. But and of course, housing services, you're continuing to see high readings there. To some extent, that's catch-up inflation from earlier pressures. But I mean, overall, you're right. Inflationary pressures have come down. As I mentioned, the labor market has come into better balance. Wages are still running, I would say, above a sustainable path, which would be that of trend inflation and trend productivity. You're still seeing wage increases moving above that. We haven't thought of wages as being the principal, cause of inflation, but at the same time, getting back to 2% inflation is likely to require return to a more sustainable level.
Look at that.
Somewhat below the current level of increases in the aggregate.
Bouncing, baby. Bounce again. Another bounce. Chirper. Chirper.
Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Thanks for taking our questions. There's obviously a lot of focus on how many cuts could be expected this year, but can you give us a sense of what one cut by the end of the year would actually do to the economy, what you think would be a meaningful difference if there was a cut by the end of the year, or even two?
I think if you look back in 5 or 10 years and try to pull out the significance to the U.S. economy of one 25 basis point rate cut, you'd have quite a job on your hands. So that's not how we look at it. Really the whole rate path matters, and I do
rate path
continue
matters.
to think that when we do
rate path matters. It's like
policy that will
a new
show
movement.
up in significant loosening in financial market conditions, and the market will price in what it prices in. I have no way of saying we're not at that stage, so I don't know what we'll be thinking about at that time. But it's a consequential decision for the economy, and you want to get it right. And fortunately, we have a strong economy, and we have the ability to approach this question carefully, and we will approach it carefully while we're very much keeping an eye on downside economic risks should they emerge.
And you've been talking about this clear sense that it's just going to take longer to have the confidence that's needed for rate cuts. Is there something about what happened in the first couple of months of the year that you're seeing differently now with more time or hindsight? Do you still characterize it as expected bumpiness or something more lasting that is affecting
Wow.
policy for the rest of the year?
Look at all these people. What's going on, D. Jenny? Good to see you. Clay the Great. Scott. Caffeinated Crypto. Good to see you, Luna.
Don't like.
French Toaster.
Just make it go away. So, but
Trade
we had a
setup.
quarter where inflation was
Homo
running higher, and
sapiens.
yes, I could stand here and say
Magnum DeFi. Good to
stuff
see you.
We shouldn't have taken signal from, but it is what it is. You know, you have to.
Jesse. Good to see
low
you.
Inflation is low inflation, high inflation.
Alexander
We had a
G. Of
quarter
course.
was
It's
higher.
always a pleasure. Thank you
We
for
tried
being
not
here.
to take signal for
B
the
Team
first couple of
Crypto.
months, but we got a third month, and we said, okay.
Luke Bailey,
the signal
Macro
we're taking
CTR.
is that we think it's going to take longer to get confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down.
Magical pump and dump today.
I think that was the right thing to do. I still think that's the right thing to do.
Continuation?
Now we have today's inflation reading, which is very different, very much more positive. We're going to have to see what the trend is, what's going to be the data going forward. We're looking for something that gives us confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. And readings like today's, that's a step in the right direction, but one reading isn't. It's just
Retest to the previous lows. Who could be getting a dump from here?
Any single data point.
We're going to push. We're going to push. Push.
Hi, Chair Powell. Thank you for taking our questions. I'm Jolene Kent with CBS News.
Push Bitcoin. Come
What's your
on. You can
message
do
to
it.
Americans who are seeing encouraging economic data, but
You
don't
can do
feel good
it.
about
Just
the
push.
I don't think anyone knows.
Got a little
the definitive
downtrend
answer
here being
why
formed.
People are not as happy about the economy as they might be, and we don't tell people how they should think or feel about the economy. That's not our job. We're people experience
Breakout,
what they
retest.
experience. All I can tell you is what the data show, which is we've got an economy that's growing at a solid pace. We've got a very strong labor market with unemployment at 4%. It's been a long time since we've had
The rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. Why don't you just say it, Jerome?
at or below 4%, very long time. We had a period.
Why don't
of
you
high
just say it,
inflation.
man?
We
The
had-
rich keep
inflation's
getting
come
richer,
down really significantly,
and the
we're doing
poor
everything
stay
we
poor.
can,
The middle class is
to
deteriorating,
bring that inflationary
and it's
episode
your
fully
guys'
to a
fault.
halt and fully restore
And
price
that's how
stability.
you want it.
We're confident that we'll get there. And
You
in the
want us all to
meantime,
suffer.
it's going to be painful for people, but the ultimate pain. would
What's
be
going on,
a
Melissa?
period
Good to
of
see you.
long, high-
Amy
long
Lives
period of
Crypto.
high
What's
inflation.
going on?
It is people who, lower income people.
Nick
people who are
Musgrave,
marginally
what's
in
going
the
on?
economy Who
Good to see you, brother.
have the worst experience.
You guys want to throw those altcoins? We're going to go over altcoins after.
Those people for all Americans, but particularly for those people that we're
Maybe we can count those up and do you guys a service here.
follow up here? You've indicated one interest rate cut.
We'll go over
sometime
your
this
favorite
year, and I
altcoins,
know
all
you
that
don't
good
have
stuff.
time to follow up there, but a lot of people are watching. And
As boring as this
following
guy
up
is,
remains
you got to
very
think he's steered the
expensive.
ship pretty good,
Everybody is
man.
out there
He ain't hitting no
waiting for a rate
icebergs
cut.
yet.
About when can consumers expect some relief?
Well, I don't have a precise date for you.
Look at all these
What we've said
legends.
is that
BC
we wanna
Port
make
Corp,
sure
good to
that
see you.
We're confident that inflation.
You guys all
is
want
actually moving
Injective,
back
eh?
down to 2%. And when we are, then we can look at loosening policy. So
Did I get you guys all on the Injective
having
hype
that
train
kind
or
of
what? I think
confidence
I've.
that inflation will be at 2%. It just pays.
This was
benefits
yesterday, man. I was
to
like,
the
look
whole
right here,
economy, to
perfect
all
buy
Americans
entry,
for a long
bullish
period of time.
divergence.
We had
Oh
that period
man,
for a very long
oh
time.
man.
We very much want to get back to.
It
a
gave you
place
guys
where
that entry.
People cannot think about inflation. It's just
That was
not
so
a
good.
Concern in the everyday economic decisions that they make. We were there.
If you're in the Discord, you would have seen this.
Our goal is to get back to that place, and we've made good progress, and we're in the phase now of just sticking with it until we get it done.
Claire Jones, Financial Times. Just drawing on the change in the statement on there being modest further progress on inflation. Halfway, through the year and after today's CPI release, what have you and other committee members found that has
Bitcoin
been
rolling over.
particularly encouraging to you? And just in terms of the conservatism, how much of that is about stickiness in shelter inflation in particular? Thank you.
So encouraging has been that growth, the growth clearly that we had last year, and particularly the second half of last year, and we continue to see still strong growth, solid growth this year. That's been very encouraging. If you go back a year, there was a real concern about, very much slowing growth and a recession. Many.
All right, we're gonna do a poll. We're gonna do a poll.
That's not what happened. Instead, we got the U.S. is anyway, and it's in sharp distinction with many other economies around the world. So that's been encouraging. I would say that today's inflation report is encouraging, but it comes after, several your reports that were not so encouraging. You ask about your second question was really about shelter inflation. So I think if you go back a couple of years, we know that
we're going to do a poll.
And then
poll dancing.
People who own their houses.
Okay.
And we have OER, which is owner's equivalent rent. And
guys,
so
let's get some alts in the chat here.
Go up sharply as they did at the beginning of the.
Let's get some alts, please. Altcoins.
They really went up sharply. Those play into rollover rents.
Altcoins, please.
Much more slowly for existing tenants.
I want to take a look at Link.
And so what we
and I want to take a look at
that there are big lags. So there's sort of
AVAX.
A bulge of high past
Caspa.
increases
I like that.
in market rents. It has to get worked off, and that may take several years. Nonetheless, as long as market rents are going up at relatively low levels, and they still are, this is just going to happen. It just is going to happen more slowly than we thought.
That's better.
We also
I appreciate the
this thing where we
participation,
impute
friends.
A rental value to owned homes, and that's many countries around the world do that. Some do it differently than us. It's something that the price experts have regularly looked at. It is not something that we're the only country that does, and it's not something we're looking at changing or would look at changing, anytime soon. But it's true. It's one of the very hardest things in inflation and in prices is how to think about, the services that someone is getting by living in a home that they could rent, but they're actually living in it. And some countries choose to just ignore that, but that's not how we do inflation here. We do it the way we do it, and we've been very transparent about it. And it's true that we're seeing delays in realizing
Thank you, Nick.
What's happening economically.
Thanks, bro.
We understand that. We understand.
My
that
man.
very well.
My man. Appreciate you, bro. Isn't it past your bedtime, Nick?
Question, Chair Powell. So I want to go back to jobs and the consumer. The last jobs report showed that over the past year, 634,000 more people took multiple jobs. That's up 8.2%.
I wonder when
2021 we've seen prices rise 19%. So people are using
when Powell was younger.
For their lifestyle. What pressure points?
If he was any more
signal to
interesting.
you that the slowing economy could maybe break companies in terms of hiring or break the consumer in terms of spending?
So, we monitor all the things you mentioned and more. What we're seeing is basically spending was going up faster than disposable income during big parts of last year rather. And so what that you'd expect to see is people spending more on their credit cards. That has been happening.
I'm becoming Jerome Powell as he speaks. You see this? It's my Jerome Powell right here.
After the pandemic, people were cooped up. They couldn't spend money. They couldn't go out to spend money. They could spend money from home. But households were in very, very strong, historically strong financial shape. They've now worked off a lot of that. So we're watching.
If you wore a cowboy hat,
and what do we see? That's what we see.
It'd be
We
better.
see the same data that everybody else sees, but you've still got household sector that's in pretty good shape. But nonetheless, it's not in the kind of shape it was in a year or two ago, and we're carefully.
I think if you wore a cowboy hat, what do you guys think?
Are we to that point where the consumer can't continue to spend as it's spending, or companies can't hire like they're hiring?
Consumer spending is still growing. It's not growing at the pace it was growing at a year or so ago, but it's still growing solidly. And by the way, other parts of the economy are picking up. Spending on equipment and intangibles has picked up quite a bit. In the wake of all the construction that we saw of new tech plants. So overall, the economy is exhibiting solid growth, and something around 2%, which is a good pace of growth for the U.S. economy. But you're right though. We do see the same thing other people see, which is increasing financial pressures on more lower income people, and the best thing we can do is to foster a very strong jobs
How about that?
economy, which we think we have done ultimately to get inflation under control, because those people experience inflation, very directly, very painfully. And once we get inflation under control, rates can come down, which will also improve things.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. You've mentioned that an unexpected weakening
Look,
in the labor market,
Jerome's wearing a
would
toupee.
bring rate cuts sooner. And I was just wondering, can you talk a little bit about what that would look like? Is it more of like a quicker pace of people losing jobs? Is it more the level of the unemployment rate if it were to start to go above 4.2 or something like that? How are you thinking about what you're looking for to see the job market unexpectedly weaken?
When I say unexpectedly, the first thing is more than kind of is in our forecast or in common forecasts. So something more than that. But we'll be looking at everything. The labor market, has the ability, has the tendency sometimes to move to weaken quickly. So waiting for that to happen is not what we're doing. We're watching very carefully. We're looking at the balance of risks. I always point out the balance of risks. So. And also the fact that we look at all of the whole situation.
I think he looks better like this.
A decision to begin to, loosen policy could have several reasons associated with it at a given time. But I would just, we monitor all the labor market data, and if we saw troubling weakening more than expected, then that would be something we'd consider responding to. But we look at the broader context of what's going on too.
So something like negative payroll numbers would be.
I'm not going to. I can think of things many things would make it on that list, but I don't think I'll utter them here.
Thank you, Chair Powell.
Chair
Simon
Powell.
The Economist. May I ask, you mentioned with the slightly higher PC readings earlier this year that it wasn't 1 or 2
Do we
months,
buy or
but
sell,
3
Jerome?
months, that tipped you to be a bit more cautious in the rate outlook. Should we take from that it looks like May will be quite good for PC as it was for CPI? Does that imply that kind of 2 more good months would reinstill the confidence that rate cuts could be coming sooner than you currently project?
I don't actually have that kind of mechanical thing in my thinking. I get that, as many good ones as we had bad ones, but no, it's not like that. It's the whole. It's going to be the totality of the data, the labor market data, the growth data, in terms of inflation.
The totality. Totality. Finish
see
him.
Real progress that builds your confidence that we are on a path down to 2%, and I don't want to try to give you specific numbers of things, because that points to dates, and I just don't think we're not at a point of being able to do that.
Thank you for doing this. I'm Kosuke Takami with Nikkei. I would like to know about the impact of stronger dollar on U.S. economic growth and prices. And I have no
1618 hit on Injective.
Markets should determine the exchange rate, but Japan and some emerging markets are suffering from the strong dollar. So I want to know.
I think this is the bounce, man. This is going to be the bounce. Look at this 12-minute. Look at the 12-minute here.
So we don't.
VWAP crossover, green dot.
Responsibility for thinking about and fit doing things about the level of the dollar. So for us, it's just
what's going on, DDT?
Variable, and you're right. The dollar has been has exhibited some strength over the course of the last year or so because the U.S. economy is very strong. We don't think of it as benefiting or hurting the U.S. We don't
look at this little breakout. Look, the retest breakout, little downtrend here.
And for our economy,
let's go.
What we're trying to foster is maximum employment and price stability.
Let's go.
I feel like we've made good progress on both of those goals over the course of the past year.
Everybody, did you all heed my warning in the Discord?
You said you would cut rates before inflation falls.
I am long.
You're
yes.
forecasting inflation to end the year at 2.8% on core PCE, or at 2.8%
I am long.
of course, on core PCE. Right now, you said the inflation forecast is conservative and that if you got 2.6 to 2.7 on PCE, that would be a good place to be. You also indicated the job market has mostly normalized. So why not cut rates this summer just once? You're well above neutral to try to preserve the soft landing rather than risking waiting too long in the quest for confidence for inflation?
So we're well aware of the two-sided risks here. Let me just say, we understand that if we wait too long, that could come at the cost of economic activity, of employment, of the expansion. We understand that if we move too quickly, we could end up undoing a lot of the good that we've done and have to then start over, and it could be very disruptive. So we're extremely aware of both of those risks and just basically trying to manage them.
I'm going to hit another TP. Come on. Get up here.
We
Get
don't
up
think it
here.
will be appropriate to begin to loosen policy until we're more confident that inflation is moving down to 2%.
I'm going to take a little bit off.
On a sustainable basis. That's kind of been our test. Or there's another test, which is an unexpected deterioration in labor market conditions. So I think that's the right way for us to think about it. That's our dual mandate.
Come on.
Here. And we have a strong economy. We've got growth. All forecasts are very commonly around 2%. That's a strong growth rate for our economy.
Close a little bit.
The labor market continues to print jobs at a pretty high rate. Unemployment's still low, so we have the ability now.
It's going the wrong way now.
To approach this question carefully, and that's what we're doing.
And just to follow Chair Powell,
Key level
do you need
resistance
to be
here.
ahead of a weakening
250.
in the labor market? Otherwise, is
Hit
it
it.
too late, given that the labor market is a lagging indicator, right, when you look at the monthly jobs data?
Yeah, we completely understand that that's the risk, and that's not what we're.
Come on,
that's not our
baby.
Plan, is to wait for things to break and then try to fix them.
Come on, baby, hit
Trying to
it.
balance these two goals in a way that is consistent with our framework, and we think we're doing that.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Evan Reiser with Market News International. You have mentioned before the framework review process will start in the latter half of the year.
TP1, it's just up here.
At this point, do you have any specific
Just up here, just
timeframe
before
as far as
3:45.
that? Who will lead it? Will it be you or
TP1.
a committee group of your peers? What will
Then we
be
look
the
for break of
parameters?
structure.
Do you anticipate the review will consider changes?
Then we
to
can possibly add for a retrace.
So
Come on, baby, push.
What we've been thinking is that we would announce and commence the review.
I got to get the
later
pump
or late
out, the bicycle pump.
In the meantime, as that
Come
time
on, baby.
approaches, we will be devoting a lot of careful thought and planning to the contours of it. Within scope would certainly be communications generally. I'm not going to
Order
say
block.
that we'll look at this or that
Mm.
particular thing, and all the other details. We don't want to get prematurely into a conversation.
He doesn't want to be
until there's
premature.
time to have it. And
Come on, baby, we
I'm
pumping.
going to leave pretty much everything else to later in the year.
Hi, Chair Powell. Nancy
Good job, Nick.
Spencer with Marketplace. Just one more question on housing. Can you still cut rates with shelter?
I need chart
prices
magnets,
high,
he says. Chart
or
magnets,
will
here we
you
go.
wait until they start to moderate a bit?
I wouldn't. There isn't any one thing, one variable like housing prices.
Get up here,
moderating
motherfucker.
that would really decide or
Am I
decide
allowed to say
against
mofo?
what we're doing. We've got
I don't know. I say
overall,
cluck cluck, motherfucker. So
test,
here you go.
which is
Mm.
greater confidence that inflation is moving down to 2%. That's our overall test. Or alternatively, we see unexpected weakening. in the labor
It's
market.
working, farmer.
So
It's working.
Those are two.
It's
different
working,
tests. I
bro.
would say, we're not looking at any one price in any one sector and saying that's the one. We don't target housing prices, for example, and we don't target wages. We target aggregate prices and overall employment. So.
But if housing prices remain sticky, could that slow down the pace of rate cuts?
I think you'd look at we'd be looking at the aggregate numbers and asking ourselves what's going on here with inflation at the aggregate level. And of course, if any price that contributed to ongoing inflation would matter. Any
Get
price
up
that
there.
contributed to ongoing disinflation would matter too.
I'm slapping
I wouldn't
it.
single out housing as having a special.
I got my fridge today, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. That's enough out of this Scheisenhausen. So we're in a long right now, half a position. You know, you can't risk it for the biscuit. You know, it's not a, you know. So we are in this long right now. Let's see if it continues up. Thank you guys so much for being here, supporting the channel. What's going on? Alex O Crypto here. I feel like we gotta kind of restart a little dance here, starting a little bit late. Hope you're all doing well. Anybody who's new, just coming in. I mean, Discord, we've been crushing it, as per usual. But you know, not always usual on everybody else's Discord. So let's party a little bit, right? What's going on out there? Gang, 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 gang. Much love to every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for being bored with me, listening to Jerome Powell. That's how we roll. Sometimes you gotta listen to the boring guys in order to make money. Now we are coming back on our position as we speak. Could this continue to the upside? Well, let's see, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's have a good day today, and it's been a wild one. We got a lot to go over on Bitcoin, on all the altcoins. I figured I'd crank up the volume for you guys and wake you up because these markets are on fire. They're either going up or down, and time is the only factor that we have to deal with here, and we are positioning ourselves the best. Because, I mean, this is Alex O Crypto, and we crushing it. We absolutely crushing it. I see you guys in the Discord. I see you guys taking those longs, those shorts, and all that good stuff. We warned you. We warned you. We said, don't FOMO in, because we care. We care, okay? So, congratulations to everybody who maybe just protected themselves today, okay? Maybe you just protected yourself today and given yourself another chance to trade tomorrow, okay? The market's dumping, baby. The market is dumping. Is it going to go higher? Is it going to go lower? Who knows? All we do know is that Jerome, I'm out of that trade, by the way. I'm out of that trade. The stop loss was up here. The stop loss was up here, okay? Don't copy trade, man. Don't copy trade, okay? I closed that trade. Coming down, baby. To our bounce level, where is it? 618? Ooh. Yeah, boy. So, we're going to go over Bitcoin. We're going to go over all this good stuff, man. Don't copy trade, okay? It's not good to copy trade. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research. It's coming back and grabbing liquidity from this beautiful, beautiful pump we had this morning. We went live this morning, just kind of giving you guys the good old hopium, right? Coming back, recovering halfway down this candle is always a probability. When you're looking here, you could pull a fib, swing low to swing high. You can look for the retest back down to the golden pocket. Looks like we are doing so and getting a little bit of a bounce out of it, okay? Very, very good trade way. We got 86 people here and only 30 likes. Let's get those likes up to the viewers, guys. I don't ask for much. You know, sometimes they say go on the BloFin, support the channel that way. We don't charge for anything here, so the least you can do is smash some likes, use the exchanges, the links down below and all that good stuff. So besides that, how you guys feeling today? Because I have a grandfather, right? And he seems to think that we're going to the moon.
Hey, styling, profiling.
Look at the glasses.
It's gone up.
No, it's going up.
It's going up.
Yeah. Whoa.
Let's go. I like the shades.
Hey.
Sky high.
Sky high.
That's the one. Hey, styling, profiling.
I didn't have any influence on the glasses today, guys. I just came up to him in the shed and he said, "Hey, sky high." I honestly, I go up to him. I'm like, "You want to make a video?" He goes, "Okay." And then we make a video. This is all off the top, nothing scripted. He's wearing the glasses with the tomatoes today. He's been watering the tomatoes. He's out there, taking care of it. Sky high, baby.
Going up.
It's going up.
Yeah. Whoa.
Let's go. I like the shades.
Hey.
Sky high.
Sky high.
That's the one.
Oh man, 87 years old, man. The living legend, still crushing it. Absolute legend. I'm gonna always appreciate these videos. He sometimes he doesn't totally understand. I try to explain to him, there's a community. They watch it on the internet and they love you. They love you. They think you're amazing, and it's no harm, no foul. They just want to see you. See what you're thinking and which way the market's gonna go. And he's like, okay, no problem. Okay. So Jerome, what has he done to us today? Look at this. We're coming down. We're out of our long trade. Was this short available? So the warning was here, guys. So I said to you guys in the Discord, I'm like, guys, at everybody, don't FOMO, right? What happened was we just got a massive, like within half a second, you can't even 5-second chart here. We look at this, and within half a second, I mean, not even, you got the massive, almost 2% dump, 1.5% dump. Okay, so guys, days like this, don't get out of your trades unless you're long from the trade setup we gave in advance the other day, that we're out of now, but unless you're long from somewhere down here, we may have taken this trade as a community. We may not have, but pretty amazing. We're going to go over the top-down analysis on Bitcoin, and then we're going to go and make sure that we do all your favorite altcoins. We have the altcoin list. We're ready to go. I hope you guys are ready to go as well. Thank you guys for being here, supporting this channel, and those likes are looking a lot better, so thank you. Going over our daily, what were we expecting? So everything was kind of cooked in the sense where we have been coming back down into reality, and you can see here we have this big push up, but everything's cooked. I mean, down low, burnt, right? Burnt to the ground. So we were looking for an oscillation to the upside. Now we did get a couple of things today. It was a very violent day and a very, very interesting day, to say the least, right? So today, this morning, we were ready. We got inflation rates, right? That came in lower than expected. So that's bullish, right? 3.3% on inflation rate rather than 3.4, which is bullish. Core inflation came down to 3.4, expected 3.6. Good. Bullish. Continuation, big pump this morning. Then we get Chair Powell speaking, and we get the interest rate decision. Now, are you expecting cuts? Are you not expecting cuts? We went over this. We were expecting no cuts, which is somewhat bearish considering all the rest of the G7 countries, including Canada and the ECB, have started to cut. Okay? So then we go over to the price action. What happened today, right? So very simply, we could have looked for the long continuation, right? We had that long trade set up from the other day here, working its way up, continuing out, breaking out, retesting, and then off to the moon. We get the bullish 3.3%, right? So that pushes us up, right? We consolidate, anticipating Jerome Powell. Then we get our rate cut, 5.5. Boom. Back down, okay? And now we seem to have been trickling downwards, and we're actually returning to this upwards trend line right now. So what do? We wait in anticipation. What goes up must come down, but nonetheless, that is what has happened today. So now we can look for a possible retest down here. We're still favoring longs, in my opinion. Nice bottoming structure here, looking for that continuation out, okay? Now, also, how do we prepare for the rest of the week, right? Because it ain't over until the fat lady sings, as they say, and we have PP in your eye tomorrow. So you got to be prepared. We're prepared nonetheless. So this is at 8:30 in the morning tomorrow. So let's kind of, in my opinion, unless you're scalping like I've been, you don't want to be, jumping into any swing positions. I don't think that's a very good financial decision if you are looking to trade, right? You want to take advantage of the price action, but you also want to be prepared for news to go up, down, and all around. So We're prepared for tomorrow morning. Now, okay, you thought it was over? It's not over, okay? So be prepared, okay? So now, what else is next? What else can we expect? So with the Bitcoin price, right, we have two ranges that we've been talking about. We have the upper range, the lower range, right? I'll separate the lower range so you can see that we are holding this upper range, okay? And that's how I'm looking at it. I don't know how you're looking at it, but this is how I'm looking at it, right? And what I can see here is whenever you get oscillation above the zero line, like this, we look for that trigger wave down below to fire off a long opportunity, okay? So this is what I'm seeing right now. Now, it doesn't mean that price can't continue downwards, okay? Looking at market cipher here, we can see that big push down with the trigger wave here. So VWAP is also posturing to the upside, giving us room to the upside and pushing us forward. Now, at the beginning of the week, I said to you guys, the 3-day, we're anticipating the 3-day to look better by Friday. Now, this is still looking pretty ugly, in my opinion. We're getting a confirmed red dot anchor trigger wave pushing us down, but money remains flat, okay? Money remains flat, which is somewhat good, okay? So we're anticipating a different change of posturing on our VWAP going into Friday / next week, which will be our next couple of printing of candles. So that's what we're anticipating on our 3-day and long term. Okay, so we forecast that way. We forecast this way with our daily, looking for that continuation. A little bit of a bearish sign here with stochastics changing red, but nonetheless, it's been volatile. It's been news driven. It hasn't really been exactly easy price action to decipher. As you can see, the 12-hour here. The 12-hour looked extremely bullish this morning. We eyed out, the big anchor wave here, the VWAP crossover with green money flow. It looked bullish as ever, and we got that push up and that push down so far today. So, a real nothing burger with tons of volatility today, okay? Going into our 8-hour, what can we see? We can see this anchor is confirmed and it's pushing in, and we got money coming back in. So this is a good sign nonetheless for price action where money comes out, but it quickly moves back in. You can see VWAP's a bit cooked, but we can see a nice V-shaped recovery. Now, if we go into price action, what do we see? We see a nice V-shaped recovery, right? So for me, right now, it seems as though we're holding this level. This is going to be very important for us to hold this level right around here, around 68,000, okay? You can see the big volume spike within this range here that's hopefully going to hold up the price action when we return back down, and we can possibly look for a bounce from there, okay? We came up to the point of control, got rejected, which is normal. Whenever you look at a range, you can look, comes up to the point of control, gets rejected, pushes outside of the point of control, retests the point of control, rejected, pushes through the point of control, okay? So oscillating within this range is what we're looking for, and you can see we do have a big level of volume within this area. So we're looking for that $68,000 initially to hold. Now, we can get a little bit more specific with this. This is the 8-hour. So let's go into our 4-hour. What are we looking at here? The push up, the recovery halfway of the candle, which is very good, okay? We know that we have that support at 68,000. You can see momentum wave coming in. So I would look for this tomorrow where PPI gets red, we get some data, and you get something like this. Anchor trigger wave, basic market cipher structure. Let's say the VWAP cools off overnight, and then we get that pop with money coming into the market. That would be bullish. So that's something that we'll keep our eyes peeled on. Right now, I'm not looking for any more trades, okay? We've been degenning, we've been over trading, if anything. So let's be patient. Let's let price come to us. And let's hopefully take advantage of some settled down price action after tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. Okay, so maybe we hold this, maybe we don't. Maybe we come down, retest this, and come back down and retest the order block down below here. There's very much possibility of this, okay? Retesting this lower level is very, very possible. Why? Because if we look at structure here on our 12-hour, what can we see? Okay, and I always ask you guys to zoom out and take a good look at this because you got to understand your market structure and which way price is leaning towards long term, right? Long term is going to help you break down the short term, right? So you can see here clearly a beautiful structure to the upside, double top, okay, double top, and now a break of structure to the downside. So what are we looking for, right? We were looking for a retest, continuation, down low. Now my swing low levels right around 64,500, okay? And that's the golden pocket, I believe, from here to here. That comes into this area, which aligns also very well with volume, okay? So we're aware of the volume within this area. You can see that if I extend this over to the left here, we can see that it lines up quite nicely with this shelf of volume. So we could fall through quite swiftly if we come through this 65,800 area, back down to test this before bouncing back up. Now we do have the point of control up here and two very big spikes of volume as we identified here at 68,000 and that point of control at 67,000. So very easy numbers to remember, 68 and 67,000. Big levels of support. What is the resistance? 69,500. Okay, and you can see that straight through here as it's acted as resistance. So it's very simple to understand how to sandwich price within this area. So we need to get above 69,500 in order to continue bullish, okay? Getting above there, we came down and we wicked on it right now with the crazy day we've had so far. And then we need to hold either 68,000 or 67,000. Otherwise, we're looking to drop down to 65,000 or 64,000, right? So we want to see it hold. We want to see it hold, but we're not naive to the fact that we can't see another little sweep of the lows before heading upwards, okay? You can see the beautiful continuation here, but I'm looking for a possible A, B, C correction, and then a possible parabolic move, finally breaking out of this range, okay? And that's what I would like to see. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. How do we take advantage of that? We position ourselves with good entries like we have before, and we let the rest of the trade ride, taking profits along the way, allowing ourselves to not only be profitable, but to manage our risk, okay? So this has been a very, very lucrative past couple days for the community. I thank you all for participating. We have an amazing Discord, okay? Like full of absolute legends here, helping one another become profitable. Sometimes they don't listen, but you know, they are pretty amazing people. We have people who threatened me about my long, and they said I was going to get wrecked. But however, I was in a schlong, and I managed to make some money, okay? And it's about managing your trades and managing what you're looking for, right? So very, very amazing community. Come and hang out with us. We would love to have you, as long as you're not a douche, okay? Don't be a douche, okay? I don't know how to say. Okay, guys, we need a better slogan for the Discord. Come in and don't be a douchebag, and we'll help you. You guys got something better? Otter Gang is here to stay. Just don't be a douche. So we're going to get into all your alts. That is BTC in a nutshell right now. We got some key areas for you guys as usual where we're looking for a bounce. 68,000, that's where we're looking for the bounce as we speak. Okay, as we speak, retesting this order block area right around 68.8. Good vibe zone, no douchebags. It's a good vibe zone, right? And if you ain't got the vibes, then we have this guy who has a very big axe, okay? And he walks around sometimes, and there's these people who come into the Discord, and they think that they can get by him. And his name is Nick, and he has this big-ass axe, okay? And if you're poison, he cuts, you know, like if you got the gangrene in the arm, you need to lose the arm, right? We don't mind sacrificing a couple of arms for a healthy and strong human, meaning a healthy and strong Discord. There's the worst analogy of your life, but don't mess around with the gang, man. Don't mess around with the gang, because we care too much about our community that we will protect it with everything we got. And we have the good people, the good mods to do so, okay? Okay? Okay. So that's the idea for Bitcoin. Holding between 68,000 and 67.6 right now. Let's see if it does so. we've had a wild day. Typically, the pump, the dump, back to resetting where we're at now. So when we get back here and we start chopping sideways, we're either looking for a swing failure pattern down to this order block here, coming back down, whoop, and then bouncing, or we're looking for a continuation here of this crazy, crazy day, okay? And that's how I'm looking to take advantage of price action right now. There was opportunities for shorts, there was opportunities for longs today. The key with any type of news-driven day, is protecting your risk, right? Making sure to manage your risk, making sure to not be trading when the news drops because you're going to get dropped, right? Unless you got some insider information, right? The beautiful pump, boom, it took off, right? The beautiful dump, boom, it liquidated a lot of people, right? And we don't want to be retail. We don't want to be just trading that blindly, right? We want to take advantage of a structured market change, a structured type of community where we can look at what's going on in the charts, put the probabilities in our favors, manage our risk, and take advantage, okay? And we've managed to do that very well recently, extracting profits from this crazy, crazy market. So let's jump into your favorite altcoins. Thank you guys so much for being here. We've had 100 viewers here supporting the channel. Smash those likes, subscribe to the channel. All those good shilly, bang, bang things. You know what I've realized is I'm not good at selling, okay? I'm not here to sell people anything because I do make my profits from trading and I don't feel the need to sell you anything. So I'm going to create some fun commercials, some like 10-second commercials that I can jump to. I could just be like, now, for the next 10 seconds, please put up with me. BloFin, do you like BloFin? BloFin is cool. Use the exchange. Support the channel because we need you to blow on a fish's fin. I don't know. That's what I thought because I'm not here to shill, so I'm going to make it fun because that's how it is, right? But it does help support the channel using the BloFin exchange, using the market cipher links. I just don't have it in me to be like, use it, right? But, the exchange, we battled for the 20% cashback, and we're here to, I'm not selling anything. I'm giving you the tools that I use, okay? I use them. There's nothing in there that I don't use, right? And I don't feel bad about, you guys supporting me in that respect because I use them too, okay? And that's enough out of me. So, Injective. Let's go over to Injective. I appreciate you guys. We've been Injective like extracting, okay? We've been crushing it as a community. We had the bull div yesterday, coming down with a big dump here, bullish divergence into the lows, beautiful long. I know a bunch of you guys took it, so maybe teach us about different otter breeds and have the link to the exchanges / Oh man. That would be fun. I'm going to get creative with it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it somehow, some way. I'm going to record like a 15-second, 10-second commercial for Market Cipher and BloFin so you guys can look forward to that. And then we can just laugh at me, and then hopefully you guys use the exchanges. But it does support the channel a little bit, right? So it's good fun. It's good fun, and there's no worries. I'm not gonna just like make an otter sticker and sell it to you guys. Okay, I don't need you to use the otter stickers. Okay, no douches or turd sandwiches. I like that one. Yeah, crap burgers, a nothing burger. So today has been a nothing burger. What are we looking for on Injective? We're looking for a retest of the previous highs, right? Very, very simple trade setup. Injective has been flying. So we want to trade the things that are flying, which have narrative, right? Injective needs to get above $32. Clearly has been rejected. Beautiful, beautiful. We love to see a nice rejection up at the highs because that means we've banged on the door at least once, right? And you can see this beautiful ascending kind of triangle. Whoa, what happened there? Did I just disappear the chart? I just I exited it. Go here and go over here and What? Okay, well, get rid of that. Close without saving. Now we can save. Go over here. Save. Okay, we're good. We're good. I think I just closed this part here, up here. I closed it. You see up top here, top left? That's why we have multiple tabs open. We're prepared. So we're looking for that retest. Going over to the daily, right? We need to get above $32, right? We're banging on the top of the door, right? So what we can see here is continuation, right? Continuation. You know, the no douchebag thing also, like, I've noticed, like, here, we have, like, a lot of female support as well. And it's like, it's because we're not a whole bunch of, I mean, we can be idiots in the Discord sometimes, but it's also like, I've seen other Discords, and they're absolutely atrocious. They're disgusting, and we ain't those kind of people, okay? You know, I'm a family man. I'm becoming a dad. Oh man, we totally forgot. We forgot. Oh my God, we're gonna go over Injective, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, 1 second. For all those who are new here, Dad in September. I gotta practice. You gotta put up with me. Okay. The question is, what do you call a fish without eyes? What do you call a fish without eyes? A fish. A fish. A fish. A fish. A fish. You get it? A fish. How would you say that? Fish. There's no I in fish, right? You get it? I think that's more like a fish. A fish. A fish. All right, we got a psh. All right. Boots and cats and 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 boots and cats. So Injective, ascending triangle, looking to break out. If it returns back into this range right around $26, okay. Okay, but we're looking for the breakout retest, right? As you can see, the daily is coming in and money has changed green. This is a very nice signal, especially with the bounce off the zero line on our VWAP. So this is looking good, and this could stay up high here. This momentum wave can stay high for as long as it wants to, pushing onwards and upwards. But remember, you know, anything that has been ripping, which Injective clearly has recently, look at this, like ripping. Absolutely ripping, right? We look for a little cool down and a continuation, right? That's going to be the beat is greater than the jokes. Oh man, I appreciate you guys. So continuation is going to be crucial right here, right? So retesting the highs. Let's see if it finds that support. If not, maybe you trickle down to about 29. I would say 29 would be a probable better bet, but you're gonna have to wait for this to kind of bottom out, right? As we can see on Bitcoin here, coming down to those lows, really dumping right now, suggesting that we are cooling off. Our next kind of stop for Bitcoin right now is this order block right around 66,200 or holding up 67,000, right? So we're right within that area here for Bitcoin to try and bounce after chair pair did his damage, right? So coming down here, I would expect to swing low, probably around 29.12. Look for that continuation. We do have some key levels here on Injective, so be cautious. Like if we do lose this level here, you want to keep your stop loss probably under $28, okay? Just tight to $28 because you do have a nice level of support within this area, right? So it's a little bit more riskier of a trade, but you would look for this to continue up and onwards, okay? We're getting a little bit of a dumperelli today. So a pump, a dump, the hopium comes in, the hopium leaves quite quickly, doesn't it? So, you know, we're trying to be emotionalist traders, which is impossible. So just being aware of those emotions and letting them be is a lot easier, right? Be like, okay, I'm fearful because this is dumping, or I have FOMO because I want to be part of this pump, right? Vice versa, identifying how you feel, saying like, okay, I am feeling like this. However, what does the chart say? Right? What does the chart say? Because what I feel is not relevant to how I'm going to make money today, right? And that's very important. Okay, let's go over to VET. So you have the idea here on Injective. I'll share that with the Discord. We love our Injective over here at the Discord. So, you know, I always got to share it out with you guys. So just going to share it out here on the charts and make sure that we're prepared. Prepared trader is a profitable trader. We're going to go over to VET. VET, to me, is the place to be. Vechain. So you're going to see this kind of pattern everywhere where you've had the pump and now you're getting the dump and the correction, right? So for me, it's about letting the dust settle. It's about identifying when we're going to continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Now, the good sign on VET here is that we have come in and we have taken out this high here. So if we were to draw a trend line, from here straight across, we've taken this out. We've broken structure. So we're looking for a continuation on the VET price action, right? So let's look from here. Let's pull our swing low to the start of the move to the swing high. And we can target somewhere around here. I would like to bring this actually higher to right here where we are bouncing currently. And I would just like to draw a box for VET, okay? If we're going to look for that pump, I would look for it from here for a bounce, okay? And now whenever I draw a box, I'm typically just saying that I'm waiting for a price to have a reaction off of this. So maybe we bounce from here and we put in a higher high and continue. Maybe we come down lower, put in a bullish divergence here and continuation. There's many opportunities within these areas. We just want to identify those key areas of where we think price can have a reaction. And by doing so, we can give ourselves a little bit of an edge, right? Direction is key. So you can see here also lining up with some nice volume, okay? So we have some nice volume within here that we look to hold price up, okay? Holding price up and continuing to push. 1 hour is quite cooked here on Market Cipher. Let's go over to the 4 hour. Big aggressive sell-off here on VET. So you literally, you're targeting back up to the highs here. You've literally lost key support, right? So we'd probably have to go to our weekly here. Okay, so this isn't too bad. You can see you've had the push up, retest to the highs. It held, then it lost that support. Now it's coming down, right? So for me right now, your order block is down below here, right around 2.8 cents. But that's a very much higher term time frame kind of problem, right? So for me right now, you're going to retest. Let's pull volume within this area here. Let's pull it all. That's fine. Yeah, so you have that big spike of support here. So that's going to be your real big line of defense. Then you have a little bit down here as well. So within this area, you're definitely going to look for a possible bounce. So just be aware of that as well. Okay, so you're pretty much at your lows. If you drop below that, you're coming down to 2.6, 2.7. So that's something to be aware of on Vechain, okay? Big drop here. And then your target to get above is going to be this 3.2, 3.3 cent area, okay? And hopefully that can be your bounce level. But be very cautious here on all of these things as we watch Bitcoin here getting a little bit of a bounce off of the lows here after Jerome Powell absolutely nuked us but you can see we're starting to put in some bouncing looking anchor waves right now. So let's see, we are retesting the previous highs here on Bitcoin. Money is coming out. So be cautious right now. We are going into the end of the trading day and all those good things. So, right, we wait for the dust to kind of settle, and then we'll look for continuation for tomorrow after PPI at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be critical. We got 121 people in here and only 60 likes. Thank you guys so much for being here, supporting the channel. If you're new here, join us in the Discord. Free trade setups, amazing group of people here that work together to make trading a lot easier than it seems, okay? Because having a community that's all about growth and longevity and profits is key. So thank you guys for being here and supporting the channel. Let's go over and take a look at Link. My God, Link. I've been wanting to take a look at Link for a while with you guys because Link, after being so superly bullish, right? So we understand that Link is very much a consolidation type of token, right? So you can see here that we have definitely come back and retested previous highs on Link. So we were looking at this yesterday where we would come back, retest this range here, right? So you get ranges in Link. Range, and we're looking for another range as it's trending upwards right now. So it's a nice move for Link, pushing up on price action right now. So you do have this downwards trend line that we are looking to attack, right? Trying to get above it and beyond it. Now, the thing with Link is it really didn't make a higher high here, right? It didn't get above these two highs here. So that's something to watch out for. Now, overall, though, nice V-shaped recovery coming back within this range, right? So right now we are at the low of the range. So we'll look for the continuation upwards for Link. Nice little push up here, holding this area. Let's get some volume within this area as well. I'm going to zoom out and actually extract it from where we have a little bit more volume. So I'm going to pull the entire range here. I'm fishing for something in here, right? So I'll expand this here. I'll look over here. You can see that we do drop off a cliff right around here. So I'll put a horizontal here, and I'll put a horizontal here. And this is kind of allowing me to isolate price, okay? This is allowing me to have some key levels where I can look to add or take profits, right? Or add confluence, right? So what do we see here? Look at how well that line that we just added is going to act as resistance now that we are below it. And if we do fall back down, we could be looking for this as a potential support area. Now I can pull my fib from swing low to swing high from the beginning of the move to the top. And then I'm looking at a golden pocket 786 bounce for a continuation of this breakout, right? This has gotten above certain highs, right? But it has yet to claim these highs up here. So getting above this $15.80 area and holding it is going to be critical for Link to continue to get above this 1660 mark, which is going to be our heavy level of resistance that we're trying to puncture and get above, okay? So keep your eyes on the prize with Link. A very aggressive downtrend, but nonetheless, it is holding support and it is retesting previous highs, which in my opinion is bullish long term. We want to see this continue. If we go from here, from swing low from here, for the macro kind of outlook here, we are simply coming back down to our golden pocket area and looking for a long-term continuation trade on Link. So we're looking for this continuation back up to our naked point of control, all the way back up around $20, okay? So hopefully Link gets that bounce it so deserves. And nonetheless, I believe the market is looking a lot better considering we were getting rate cuts across the G7 countries. We are getting lower inflation. We are getting higher jobs. So a lot of things are looking stronger. And that, to me, will lead to eventually money printing, where they have no choice but to cut and to print money and stimulate the economy, which leads to higher prices on all assets. Let's go over to AVAX, okay? AVAX, same thing, very much suppressed, right? AVAX is consolidating within this giant range here, as we can see, and we're looking for continuation. So getting above this lower trend line not retesting it and dumping, but getting above it is going to be critical for AVAX. Going over to our 1 hour here, we were looking at a potential long trade up from where we're trading at right now. Okay, so AVAX trade, it's on, right? It's on. We're within that area where we're looking for a long, trying to get above this trend line here and back up to about $34, $35. Okay, that's going to be the target for us to get above is right here around 34.85. But we are currently in a key area where we can be looking for a bounce on AVAX as long as we continue this upwards momentum. Okay, it has changed structure. It has gotten above previous highs. So I would be looking for a potential longing opportunity on AVAX in the near future. Hopefully we see some bottoming structure. Let's go into a short-term time frame. So you're not long in this right now. It's not like, okay, just press buy. This is where you want to see, okay, we're in the key area. We want to see some strength, some holding, and a push back. Okay, you don't want to just go, oh, Alex said buy, so I'm going to buy. All right? No, you want to be patient. You want to wait for price to give you that signal. What would the signal be if you're on Market Cipher and you're looking for that momentum? You're looking for momentum to be returning a green dot down here, VWAP crossing over the 0 line, and money turning back up. Okay, and you're going to look for that on the shorter term time frames where you can see you are finding some support here, but you want to look for that longevity where you are putting in that higher high and you're looking for a continuation. Then you're firing off a long because you've come down to a key level of support. You've bounced and you've said, hey, let's try going the other way, right? You don't want to just try and catch the knife and then it to continue to dump right through your stop loss because you're always using a stop loss here. That's what they've told me, okay? Going over to Caspa. Caspa. Everybody, look, Caspa, I told you so. Caspa is the I told you so of the crypto world today, in my opinion. Everybody's like, I told you, Caspa, going to the moon. Caspa's not going to the moon, my friends. However, the ghost dank sharding, whatever the heck they call it, does look good. It's the new Bitcoin. It's the faster Bitcoin. It's the secure Bitcoin, whatever they want to call it. Okay? However, let's not get our hopium pants on and just drink the Kool-Aid, okay? What can we see? We pump, we make a new high, we consolidate. We pump, we make a new high, we consolidate. We pump, we make a new high. What happens next, guys? Do 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 do. Okay, and everybody's saying 30-cent Caspa, 30-cent Caspa. Yeah, of course. Of course. I believe Caspa will do well. The narrative is amazing. The technology is decent. All that kind of good stuff. Your fib extend up, you can see, your 2618, 34 cents. Okay, cool. Your next level, I would say, is 25 cents. 25 cents. That would be my target if we're going to continue to rip, right? We are in a nice uptrend here on Caspa, looking to continue, right? Looking to continue here. We have blown off top. We have come back down aggressively. Like, this is no joke, guys. This is a 24% dump from the highs here all the way back down, right? So, patience. We're retesting previous highs. We have our rejection wall here. We can make it green just so we know that we're possibly looking for longs here. Okay? And that's important to identify. If my mouse would work. Okay, maybe it doesn't want to work. Green? Green good? Green good. Green mean go. Okay? So this is our retest, right? We've blasted through this one. The best bet, in my opinion, is to see if we do consolidate and come back down to this trend line. Okay, with Caspa, I would definitely be drawing this in right now, where I'm looking at a big rejection here, and then consolidation towards the trend line and looking for a decision on either direction, right? Where you're breaking out or down, right? And that's something to be cautious of, okay? But, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of narrative. Could probably will do well with all the hype and narrative and everybody and their brother and sister making Caspa videos, making ICP videos for your clicks, okay? They all want your clicks. They're all hunting your clicks. And guess what? If you stop clicking it, maybe it'll stop working. But they're going to keep making them. You know it. Price prediction. Nobody knows what price is going to happen. They have a guess. They have a guess. We look at the charts. We try to make our decisions based on technical analysis. And that's as good as I can get with you guys. The fundamentals, you know. How are you going to do fundamental analysis on something that's so fresh, right? And has a lot of rugs in the industry. Just be careful. Be careful out there. So for Caspa, look for a return probably down to this area around 16.4 is looking all right on the charts. Want to keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. If you lose this level here around 16 cents, then you're looking for to come down to 15.2, right? But right now, you can see it is making higher highs and higher lows, pushing out of this bottom structure here. Money is coming back into the asset. Everybody getting super bullish, getting rejected today, coming back down, retesting the highs, right? So we look for continuation and a breakout, right? And that's what I'd be looking for on Caspa, okay? Preach, brother, preach. That's the one, man. I just don't want to see people get hurt, man. That's how I am, man. That's how I don't want to see people get hurt. I don't care what you do with your money. It's your money. I'm just saying, you know, trying to maybe play devil's advocate on all you on all the degenery that we do, right? Like I'm holding some Caspa, not a lot. Maybe $5,000 worth of Caspa, right? Maybe. Okay. You got to participate in the narratives, and that's it, right? Right? $5,000 Caspa, $5,000 to Miria. You know, I'm buying Miria up here. I'm underwater on Miria. Ooh-wee. But I tell you what, my portfolio is up like 190% or something like that because we be buying Bitcoin, our big bags, you know, sub 25,000, right? So I can dabble in the narratives as long as I have a plan, okay? And we know Brumbelow loves his Algorand, so don't look at me, look at Brumbelow for that Algorand, okay? Good to see you. It was good hearing from you last night, Brumbelow, man, on Billy Goat Tales. My brother, hope you're doing well. God bless you, bro. God bless you. Thank you for being part of this community and always chilling out on Twitter, even when they ban you. So ADA, 45 needs to get above 43 cents, right? It's holding this downwards kind of. Yeah. ADA's like that lurker, you know. ADA's definitely a lurker where it's like, you wait till you come in, you know. It's like when you're picking teams, you know, and that one kid who's really good sits in the back. That's ADA. I don't know if he's good or bad. Damn, just wanted some input. Oh, man. Sorry if I went too far. Always going too far, but I'll go as far as I need to kind of knock some sense into people. We want to be protecting our wealth. Okay? So, Johnny BD, Velo please, Velo please, Velo please, Velo please. Yeah, man. We have a pinned comment. We're just going through the list. Maybe we get to Velo after Johnny. Thank you for being here. We might get it. We might get to it. We might not, man. So looking here at ADA, V-shaped recovery, holding actually quite well in my opinion. So we'll have to see if we do continue. Thank you, David, from below. ADA's looking like it's getting a little bit of a pushback, man. Just not Bitcoin flagging out. Bitcoin flagging out, pushing back up to 68,000. Can it go? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But ADA here pushing a little bit back after a little bit of a dump ski. Now, today's going to be, obviously, was a volatile day, coming back down, retesting the lows here. You do have nice support here at 43.28 on ADA. So let's see if it holds this, continues to push. Okay, might be okay here. ADA holding up. You can see it is making a nice, actually a nice trend line here for ADA. So let's see if it can hold this here. Some nice structure to the upside, getting above 45 cents. Yeah, this here. You can see. Look at the resistance we have here. So getting above 45 cents is going to be the critical one, right? So right now you're in an uptrend, right? You've had some bottoming down here. You have this uptrend, so you're looking for the continuation, right? The way I would trade this right now is I would look for not only Bitcoin to start making higher highs and higher lows, right? Have some nice structure here on Bitcoin where you're getting something, right? Where you're looking for a continuation on Bitcoin back up, right? Some V-shaped recovery maybe. And then you look at ADA and you'd be like, okay, is it following suit? And is there an opportunity to take advantage of the price action? Okay. And that's what I'd be looking for on ADA. Right now, needs to get above 44.50. Okay. 44.50 is going to be critical for ADA to continue to pump. Let's go over to Joe. Trader Joe. I haven't looked at Joe in a while, man. So yeah, aggressive sell-off. Let's go over to the daily, take a look here. Mr. Joe, AVAX, right? AVAX, Trader Joe's AVAX, am I wrong? Trader Joe AVAX Exchange, I'm pretty sure. Decentralized DEX. You guys let me know in the chat what this is. Nonetheless, whoo-wee, look at that big blow off top. This thing can move, 786 bounce level, okay? Coming back down to reality, retesting previous support. So let's pull the volume across here, and we can see that we do have some nice volume down below here that we are retesting currently. Now we can see that we are holding, okay? Nice range here. Yes, sir, that's it. Okay, awesome. Awesome, yeah. So looking for this to get above this 44.3 cent area. That's going to be the critical bounce level, okay? Is getting above here. Right now, very aggressive downtrend, okay? So for me, looking at this, you have made a high here. You have broken out. Looks like you're breaking out and retesting. So if I go from high here down and across, looks like you've broken out and you're retesting, right? However, you do have some work to do, right? You do have to, I would like to see above 41.3 cents closes above there, and then I would look for continuation, right? So the push up, it's been very nice. The retest, been very nice. You look for a push up, hold, and then continue. And like anything like this, you're looking to get into this kind of opportunistic kind of swing trade here with anything like this. So, there's a lot of percentages to be gained, but you really want to see bottoming structure pushing price onwards and upwards. Okay, so something like this, you see the push up, the retest continuation, right? So on Joe here, you can see you got a nice double bottom. Money's coming back in. So a little bit of patience. Let's see if we do get a higher high and a higher low and continuation, right? Even tops here. So for me, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit more effort than that. We're looking either for something like this, that continuation, getting above here, and that continuation like that. Otherwise, you're looking to chop within this range here, just like you did over here. Okay, so let's see if it does continue to push, and always use Bitcoin as your reference into better price action and better understanding of which way price is going to go. You can see Bitcoin's pushing up a little bit here. Nice little V-shaped recovery, recovering halfway here. So you could be looking for a possible short because the trend is your friend, right? So you're looking for continuation here to the downside of the range, which is right around 66,800, okay? This area here. would be your lower part of the range, coming back within it here after the aggressive move this morning and the aggressive dump this afternoon. Okay, let's go over and take a look at FET. It's in the game. Fetch AI, I believe. AI tokens. Let's do some charting, baby. Okay, so where is my AI tokens? What happened here? I clicked it. There we go. FET. So going out on our daily, you know, we're expecting AI to do well. The narrative is strong. When we zoom out, we can see AI narrative pumping, right? Pump it up, right? For me, I'm going over here. I'm going down this trend line here. You can also do like a more macro trend line over here that you're looking for this high and all the way back down through here. Okay. Coming back, revisiting this previous consolidation point. Okay. So this is the order block that just got recently hit. So you're within this area right here. And hopefully holding, right? Hopefully holding. You want to see that established support being found. So going over to our 4 hour, what do we see? I see big lower lows and higher highs. So this is a nice bullish divergence on FET here. So you can see higher high, lower low, right? So we're looking for continuation, right? So a push up, breaking structure to the upside. We're looking for this continuation up to this trend line, breaking out and flying to the upside, okay? But for now, we see that we are very much below this level, right? So this would be our main support that was coming in, right? So we need to get above there. If we don't, we continue to roll over. So looking at this in the short term, beautiful move up, break of structure to the upside, retesting back down. Very nice momentum coming up here through this channel here. Let's see if this holds and continues to push. If Bitcoin bounces from here, we could most likely see this continue to hold, okay? So this kind of area within here, right? And then eventually we want to see the breakout of here, getting up to that key level of resistance on FET, which is right around $1.88, okay? That's going to be your key level of resistance to flip to support. Now that you've been really aggressively dumped on, there's a lot of room for the upside, but you want to be prepared for the downside as much as the upside, okay? So for something like this, you want to use less margin and a little bit less leverage, which will hopefully help you manage not only your emotions, but your wallet, right? You'll want to manage your wallet on anything like this. Looking at AVAX, we gave that trade setup at the beginning. I see you guys talking about AVAX. I see you guys. So we were looking at AVAX at the beginning of the stream for that long. Whew, bouncing, baby, bouncing. So hopefully that continues onwards and upwards. I mean, guys, it's been a wonderful, crazy, busy, intense day. Jerome has done his due diligence on doing his damage to not only Bitcoin, but the altcoins, the stock market, you name it. It has been pumped and dumped, okay? But nonetheless, the stock market seems to be holding up a little bit better than crypto right now with the pump. So for me, that kind of tells me that it's a bullish day nonetheless, okay? Bitcoin has flushed, a nothing burger on the day. You can see Bitcoin's only up 0.8% today, meaning we started pretty much where we began today. So this whole event has been just chaos. So well, let's see if we do have that continuation here of the price action doing something like this, getting back above that 69,300 level. It's been a pleasure, my friends. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for being here, supporting the channel. What a beautiful, beautiful day, okay? I'll see you guys in the Discord. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, helping me support you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. I'm going to the circus tonight. I'm literally going to the circus tonight. Maybe I'll send you guys some pictures in the Discord. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
it drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alex O, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alex O, crypto. Alex O, crypto. Alex O, crypto. Alex O, crypto. What you know about juice? Making the moves that flow casual, breaking the news. Revenue proof of building portfolios, taking well over exceptional gain. I'm trapping this game, so participation ain't a hard knock. I put in the work so you got knowledge. You ain't drawing with luck when you following us. The result is a pen full of fat pockets. Bada bang, that's an outer game with an auto flame. With a lot of hate, get about the lane, ain't about the trade. Have another trade, get another play. They playing guys so pretentious. Drapes in these waters forbidden. Well indeed, that's a felony. Don't look at me, but it's TRB. Have you heard of TRB? I don't know. On the come up, better sit low. The product base, better drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alex O, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alex O, crypto, on the come up, better sit low. The product base, better drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alex O, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alex O, crypto. 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 On the come up, better sit low. The product base, better drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alex O, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital.